As a lively and spirited 22-year-old student, you're immersed in the vibrant life of a bustling city. The city, with its towering skyscrapers and constant hum of activity, has become your second home. You've grown accustomed to the rhythm of the city, including its busy and heavy traffic, the thrumming of car engines, the honking of horns, and the occasional sound of sirens have become part of your everyday soundscape. Despite the chaos, you've found a way to navigate through the city's veins, making your way through the crowded streets and bustling intersections. One day, in the midst of the city's constant hustle and bustle, you had a chance encounter on a crowded subway. You found yourself in a challenging situation when a foreigner tried to converse with you in English. Your English skills were limited, and you were left in a confusing and rather embarrassing predicament. You could barely make out the words he was saying, and you felt a wave of panic wash over yourself. Just as you were trying to find a way to navigate the situation, a stranger stepped forward from the crowd. He was tall and handsome, with a captivating demeanor that commanded attention. With complete ease, he engaged the foreigner in fluent American English. The conversation between them flowed effortlessly, and you could only watch in awe as the man handled the situation with such finesse. At that moment, you experience a flurry of emotions. As you assess your feelings, you wondered, do I feel a sense of romance, as if I'm in a movie? Or perhaps something magical, like I'm a character in the novel? You were charmed and notably impressed by this mysterious man who had come to your aid. In the days that followed, you found yourself constantly thinking about him. His image was etched in your mind, and the memory of his voice replaying like a sweet melody. You were captivated by the mystery that surrounded him. Without your knowledge, however, this encounter, which seemed like a fairy tale, was the start of a dangerous trap, and you were the unsuspecting prey. This is the case of Li Qianyue. If there's anything that is not covered or is misleading, let us know in the comments so that we could see it. And just a reminder, this video, given the story it tells, serves as a documentary to understand how such events occur. It aims to impart lessons learned, not to glorify the actions of a criminal. And with that being said, grab yourself some coffee or tea and join me. Let us begin. Li Qianyue, born in the year 1998, was a vivacious 22-year-old student from Yangzhou, Jiangsu. She was pursuing her studies to fulfill her dream of becoming a flight attendant, and due to her passion for fashion, she often worked as a part-time model. In the vibrant and bustling city of Nanjing in 2019, an unexpected encounter took place amidst the cacophony of a crowded subway. Li Qianyue, an enthusiastic junior student, found herself in a challenging predicament when a foreigner struck up a conversation with her in English. Her limited command of the language left her struggling in a tide of confusion and embarrassment. Her face flushed with the awkwardness of the situation. As she battled with her language inadequacy, a stranger emerged from the sea of anonymous faces in the crowd. This man was tall and handsome, with a magnetic demeanor that instantly drew attention. He stepped in and, with an effortless grace, engaged the foreigner in fluent American English, navigating the language barrier that left Li floundering. The man, who proved to be Li's savior in this awkward encounter, introduced himself as Hong Qiao. He was a proud alumnus of the prestigious Nanjing Maritime Industry Technology Academy. In fact, he shared with an air of humble pride. This chance meeting on the subway, which could have easily been another forgotten encounter in the urban grind, took an unexpected turn. They exchanged WeChat contacts, a customary practice among the younger generation in China. Thus began the delicate dance of a blossoming relationship, nurtured by shared experience and an array of exchanged messages. Li found herself increasingly captivated by the enigmatic charm that surrounded Hong. He was always impeccably dressed in the latest fashionable trends that made him stand out in the crowd. His sense of style was unique, always effortlessly chic, adding to his air of mystery. He resided in a picturesque, intricately designed house located in the historic city of Nanjing, a testament to his refined taste. His choice of vehicle, a sleek silver Volkswagen Sagittare, was as stylish and sophisticated as he was, further amplifying his allure. Hong had a penchant for frequenting high-end, luxurious places that were a reflection of his affluent lifestyle. These were places that oozed opulence and grandeur, the kind of venues where one could easily rub shoulders with the creme de la creme of the society. His wardrobe boasted of brands that Li had never even heard of before, brands that were synonymous with luxury and exclusivity. Hong introduced himself with an air of importance, identifying himself proudly as the son of a high-ranking government official. His identity didn't stop there. He also claimed to be an undercover agent, working stealthily for the secretive department of the Ministry of State Security. His persona was one shrouded in mystery and secrecy, and he was very particular about maintaining his personal boundaries. This was especially true when it came to his electronic devices, his laptop and his mobile phone, which he guarded with a level of intensity that was almost palpable. He had a strict rule, a boundary that he allowed no one to cross. Li was strictly prohibited from laying a finger on his computer and mobile phone. He justified this extreme restriction by attributing it to the critical issues of confidentiality that were inherent and crucially important in his profession. His stories were not mere random or impulsive lies casually thrown into a conversation. They were meticulously constructive narratives, carefully woven together with the skill of a master craftsman. Each tale was delivered with such unwavering conviction and detailed precision that they seemed entirely plausible, even to the most skeptical listener. Li, although initially dubious and taken aback by these grandiose claims that seemed to defy all logic, found herself gradually succumbing to the allure of his tales. The charm and eloquence with which he presented each story was mesmerizing, drawing her into a world where every extraordinary claim seemed possible. Over time, she began to accept his explanations, no matter how extraordinary, bizarre, or even ludicrous they seemed. In the heart of summer, specifically June 2020, Li made a significant decision to introduce her significant other, Hong, to her parents. Her parents, who were both remarkable in their own respective fields, had a profound love for their only daughter. Her father, who had spent several years of his life as a soldier, serving his beloved country with unwavering dedication, and her mother, who possessed a nurturing spirit that shone through in her career as a diligent kindergarten teacher, held their daughter in the highest regard. When the moment came for her father to inquire about the nature of Hong's work, an inevitable question in such family meetings, the man showed a remarkable skill in evading the questions, steering the conversation away from the details of his career. Li, who was now fully invested in her relationship with her boyfriend and believed in him without a shred of doubt, came to his defense. She took it upon herself to explain his somewhat enigmatic job to her parents, painting a picture that would help them understand the man she had chosen to bring into their lives. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Hong had meticulously devised a lethal plan of action, a scheme that was as cunning as it was deadly. He was not working alone in this nefarious plot. He had enlisted the help of two unlikely allies who were more than willing to play their part in this dangerous game of deceit and betrayal. Zhang Chenguang, a member of a prestigious military family, and Tao Zeqing, a seemingly trustworthy police officer, had both pledged their loyalty to Hong. Together, they formed what they referred to as a special combat team. Their unsuspecting target, however, was none other than Li herself. Oblivious to the danger that was slowly closing in on her, she continued to be drawn deeper into Hong's web of lies, completely unaware of the deadly trap that had been set for her. In July 2020, Hong invited Li to participate in a secret operation in the picturesque region of Yunnan. Excited at the prospect of a potential romantic surprise, Li boarded a plane from Nanjing to Chenguang. However, instead of a romantic rendezvous, she walked right into a fatal trap, meticulously planned by Hong. She was given simple instructions: pack lightly, no suitcase, book a flight on the day of the journey, head to Yunnan, disembark the flight, proceed to the mountain's base, and wait for the light to guide her to the top. Unknown to her, two men were already stationed there, concealed behind trees, adorned in camouflage and equipped with night vision goggles. They had prepared a 5-foot grave nearby. Upon reaching the final beam of light, an eerie beacon that pierced the darkness and shone directly into a pre-dug grave, Li found herself momentarily perplexed, a feeling of dread washing over her. It was in this brief moment of confusion that the men who had been silently lying in wait seized their chance. They emerged from their hiding, the darkness of the night partly concealing their identities. One of the men, his face devoid of any emotion, started recording on his phone, a chilling testament to the cruelty that humans are capable of. The other man, with a swift and practiced motion, twisted and snapped her neck, the sound echoing in the still night. They discarded her body with a disturbing lack of respect into the grave, stripped off her personal belongings, and began the process of filling the grave with the cold, icy soil of Manghai in Yunnan. The horrifying act, a chilling and brutal end to a life, was recorded in its entirety and sent to Hong, who was back in the bustling city of Nanjing. After Li's unexpected disappearance, her distraught father reported her missing to the authorities. In a chillingly audacious move, Hong even accompanied him to the police, continuing to play his part in his web of lies. Hong said, after a fight, she left, taking $7,000 cash. I thought she needed time to cool off and was ignoring me. But when her parents arrived, I worried. Her little red book account showed marked places in Yunnan province. Her parents hadn't heard from her either. It's unusual for her to go radio silent. He lived his life calmly and without any visible remorse, spreading false information about Li's disappearance to further confuse matters. The police became involved and discovered CCTV footage of Li leaving her apartment on July 9th. She appeared to leave of her own accord, but the footage was somewhat peculiar. Li was seen exiting her apartment wearing a face mask, sunglasses, a black turtleneck, a gray coat, and carrying a small bag and a foldable umbrella. This was the last time she was seen alive and on camera. Considering it was July 9th and the weather was scorching hot, her choice of clothing was strange, especially as she might have been heading further south, where it was even hotter. Her attire and the fact that she did not appear to be in distress when leaving the apartment led authorities and Li's family to conclude that she left voluntarily and was not kidnapped. However, what happened afterwards is still unknown. A breakthrough came when the police managed to track down Zhang and Tao, Hong's accomplices. Their phone records led authorities to the location in Yunnan where Li was last seen alive. The subsequent discovery of Li's body in the Manghai County Puati Park confirmed her family's worst fears. Following a painstaking series of detailed interrogations, the suspects, Zhang and Qiao, finally succumbed to the relentless questioning. They admitted their involvement in the heinous crime that had been committed, and furthermore, they revealed their direct association with the notorious figure known as Hong Qiao. Their confession was a significant breakthrough in the investigation, and it was a crucial piece of evidence that directly led to the apprehension and arrest of Hong. Apparently, Hong's deceit wasn't limited to Li. He also tricked Zhang and Qiao. Posing as a high-ranking government official engaged in secretive tasks, he spun a story that would irrevocably alter their lives. Hong convinced Zhang and Qiao that Li was a dangerous international spy masquerading as a 21-year-old college student and aspiring flight attendant that poses a threat to national security. He manipulated their trust and patriotism, making them believe that by eliminating her, they would be serving their country. This secret mission was dubbed Operation Irene. This concocted story entangled them in a maze of lies and led them towards a crime whose true nature they were oblivious to. They both wholeheartedly believed that military officials would march down to the police station, back them up, thank them, and shake their hands for eliminating a spy. They were convinced they would be freed. But in reality, Hong is not a part of the special forces, let alone the military. The truth about Hong's real identity finally came to light, revealing him to be not more than an unemployed college dropout who happened to have an unusual fascination with camouflage. This revelation marked the end of his elaborate masquerade. Throughout his daily life, he was seen donning camouflage clothing, even for mundane tasks such as grocery shopping. In his mind, this uniform allowed him to blend in with any environment, making him inconspicuous and invisible. He was not a secret agent or a government worker as he had claimed. His real identity was in stark contrast to the polished image he had painstakingly crafted over time. Despite having never served in the military or undergone any form of military training, he managed to convince others of his fabricated special forces status. Among those who fell for his clever deception were a police officer and a member of a military family. His convincing portrayal and his ability to maintain the charade for an extended period of time reflected his dedication to his invented persona. This revelation about Hong's true identity laid bare the reality behind his facade. The unemployed college dropout, with his fascination with camouflage, had managed to fool those around him into believing he was a special forces operative. When asked about the startling revelation of his intent to have his girlfriend killed, Hong traced the roots of this shocking plan back to the very first day of the year 2020. By this point in time, he had already been in a relationship with Li for about a month. On the eve of the new year, Li, in the company of a few close friends of Hong, visited his apartment, a significant event since they were planning to commence living together. However, Li had made the decision to leave the room just moments before the countdown of the new year began. Her reason for leaving remains a mystery. One thing is certain. It was at this very moment, as the clock was ticking towards a new year, that Hong made the decision that Li had to die. Was it because he had been anticipating a New Year's kiss and felt slighted by her absence? Or was it because he felt a surge of anger as she had left the room without seeking his consent? The real reason remains unclear. Despite harboring such intentions, Hong continued his relationship with Li. He had her move in and bided his time over several months to put his plan into action, which suggests a deeply disturbed mindset. During these 5 months, one would expect their bond to strengthen. Yet, Hong persisted into scheming her demise. In April 2020, another event took place. Li requested Hong to pick her up after her shift. He consented, but upon arriving, Li was not there waiting for him. She messaged him stating she was running 5 minutes late due to work. However, she didn't come out after another 25 minutes. Hong perceived her delay as treacherous. He suspected she was having an affair with her boss while he waited. After this incident, he notified his Special Forces team. He accused Li of being an enemy spy, infiltrating his life, leaking national secrets, misappropriating Chinese public funds, and jeopardizing national security. He was adamant she must be removed. The team began to refer to Li as the Fox. The scheme involved Hong enticing the Fox to the Yunnan mountains where Zhang and Tao would be lying in wait. During the course of the investigation, a shocking revelation came to light. Hong's father attempted to bribe Li's father into withdrawing the case. He offered $1,000,000, hoping to sway the grieving father into silence.
当然呢，还是凑了凑，我应该凑了个100万了吧，就是说。
However, Li's father, steadfast in his pursuit of justice for his daughter, declined the offer. He remained committed to unearthing the truth and bringing his daughter's killer to justice, no matter what the cost.
律师在开庭前一天晚上，专门和我问我们要不要赔偿。我只说了一句：用女儿生命换来的钱，能花得了吗？
In July 2022, a full 2 years after the shocking murder had taken place, the court handed down its final verdict. The primary accused, Hong, was sentenced to the ultimate punishment of death for his role in the heinous crime. His accomplices, Zhang and Tao, did not escape justice either and received suspended death sentences. Despite several desperate attempts to appeal the sentence and alter his fate, Hong's appeals were unsuccessful. He was eventually executed on May 7, 2023, bringing an end to his life. As for Zhang and Tao, they are currently confined to the grim surroundings of death row, awaiting the day of their execution. Li was given a dignified burial. Her father remarked, "I shouldn't have been the one to choose her gravesite. How can a parent make such a decision? We should never have to make the choice for our kids." He continued, "I just want to say to my daughter that these 2 years have not been wasted. It may sound unpleasant, but we haven't let our daughter down in the 22 years she was with us."
不是为了女儿，为了给女儿讨回公道，我们早就垮了。
That afternoon, her parents visited the mountain where Li was last seen alive. They brought her favorite flowers and a bucket of KFC, her favorite meal. The heart-wrenching story of Li Qianyue serves as a grave warning of the potential dangers that arise from deceit and the consequential importance of thoroughly verifying the identity and background of those we meet in our lives. It hammers home the point that appearances, despite their attractive and benign veneer, can often be misleading, a mere illusion that conceals the true nature of individuals. As such, it emphasizes the need for us to always maintain a level of caution and alertness in our interactions. More than just a cautionary tale, it is a deeply tragic narrative of a young life that was prematurely cut short. A life that brimmed with possibilities, potential, and promise. And that is the story of Li Qianyue. What are your thoughts about this case? Leave down a comment about it. Be sure to place a bookmark on the like button and subscribe to join me. Always stay safe, and I will see you guys on the next one.